Trustee Harvey? She's absent. Trustee Reeves?
Here.
Trustee Gaines? Trustee Buffalo? Trustee Adams? We have a quorum.
Okay. And we have public comments. Okay. Yeah. This is big. I won't have to use my glasses. That's cool. Pursuant to board policy number 2350, public comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter on the agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or to the recording secretary before the point in the meeting at which the agenda item is called. Public comment cards are available at the information table in the boardroom from the recording secretary or online. And I think we have a couple of cards here. Okay.
Good evening and welcome to the new year. I think it was before we went out for Thanksgiving, I received a call from an administrator sharing with me that the people in the hub were going to be moved out of the hub because they needed to do some repairs. And so I took them at their word. And then today, I learned that as I was walking through the student services building, I looked out towards the hub, and there's a mitigation truck out there. And then as I started going around asking questions, I found out that the mitigation is to remove mold from the hub. Now, I don't mind receiving a call telling me that my unit members need to be moved, but I do mind not being told the entire story. This isn't the first time this district has had to deal with mold mitigation. And just removing mold is not enough because it can cause health problems for people. We don't know how long it's been there. We don't know how deep in the walls it is. We don't know anything, but we know that that building continues to have problems. And even though the employees are moved out of there were a few that were complaining about having, respiratory issues. And I just think that transparency is important. Now, you have a role to serve, and so do I, and so do the employees that work here, but their lives are important, and I don't think that I think that the truth should be told to the employees so they can be even offered the opportunity to get medical assistance if that's what they need. But to keep it a secret, to keep it only amongst the administrators, to me, that's not transparency, that's not being kind, and that's not showing that you care. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Welcome back, everyone. It is good to see everyone. President Buffalo, trustees, I'm addressing closed session item 14.5, the unfair practice charge. I'm not an attorney. I've never been to law school, but I have spent years reading our contract, and I know how to read plain English. Here is what this case is about. A full-time faculty member was short of their 15 LHE base load. Instead of assigning courses from the hiring pool to make up that load shortfall, the district reassigned that faculty member's own overload and converted it into their base load. That means the faculty member was made to fund their own full-time assignment out of their own salary. That makes no sense on its face. And more importantly, it violates the collective bargaining agreement. Article 10, Section 13.5H is crystal clear. It says, course workload needed for full-time or contract faculty needing to make load will be taken first from interns, emergency hires, or other faculty in the hiring pool. there's no ambiguity there. It does not say the district may take a faculty member's own overload and relabel it. It says the load must come from interns, emergency hires, or other faculty in the hiring pool. So this is not a complicated legal question. It doesn't require someone to attend law school to understand what the requirement is. It is a question of whether the district will follow the contract it negotiated and signed. Tonight's closed session agenda has 3 separate litigation items. You have a chance here to stop one of them from becoming another years-long case with interest accruing. My hope is that when you go into closed session, you ask yourselves a very simple question. Does the collective bargaining agreement allow the district to convert a full-time faculty member's own overload into load to make their full-time assignment? Then I request that you read Article 13.5H, because if the answer is no, and the contract clearly says it is, the right thing to do is to resolve this now fairly and without further unnecessary expense and effort. And so I plead with you, please resolve this fairly. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
reconvene this meeting to public session and roll call.
Student trustee Salazar Lara.
Here.
Trustee Harvey is absent. Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Reeves.
Here.
Trustee Gaines.
Here.
Trustee Buffalo.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Nobody needs glasses. Okay, do we have well, Pledge of Allegiance, and Barbara, would you lead us in that?
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have coming down to item 8.1, do we have a motion on the meeting agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. Okay, so now we have. So we got the report out. We don't have any reports to report out for the closed session, okay? And now we're coming down to the public comments portion. And pursuant to board policy number 2350, public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter on the agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or the recording secretary before the point in the meeting at which the agenda item is called. Public comment cards are available at the information table in the boardroom, from the recording secretary, or online. Okay, now, do we have, we got 3, okay. And Norris Duckett the third? Okay.
All right. I haven't done this before, so I don't know how to start the timer on this because I don't want to go over timer.
Oh, they got it up here.
Got it. Give me one moment really quick. Let's see. All right, so I get to freestyle this. I'm not even gonna go like off of the records and stuff that I have like that, because I do have them, just so you know and you're aware. But we have a very humongous malfunction that is right in front of our doorstep, like right now, for real. There is a disconnect that is about to happen and take place. It's already been taking place. And if you are not aware of this, that's because you have not been paying attention. And that's across the board, from finances to school to anything you can possibly think about. How would I know something like this? Because I've been into the local industries of everything, from the 7-Elevens to the liquor stores to here to even beyond here. Now, what I'm going to get at today is Crump Society is here to bridge that gap, the things that you do not see right now at this very moment. Now, the things that you don't see is there's this thing that I've been working on, Norris Lee Duckett III, also known as Cosmic, and it's called Project One. The reason why it's called Project One is I came up with the name simply because it unifies everybody. It's a number. It's not a name, really. It's just a project, and it's called One, meaning everyone, not just a set of people, or there's no discrimination whatsoever. There is inclusiveness all the way through and through. Now, with that said, I want you to go ahead and take a look at your archiving system as it is in place right now. It is not going to survive here in a moment because you've taken everything away. So because there's a gap between film to digital to what's about to happen, it's going to be a big break. So that's why I'm here. It took me a lot to get here, but I'm not going to sit here and ramp on who I am and what I've done and blah, blah, blah. I have a resume. You can look me up online if you want to. All of my stuff isn't necessarily there. Just so you can be familiar with me just a little bit right now, I've worked here at Antelope Valley College since a student worker. I want to say back in like 2010. But I've been a student here at Antelope Valley College since I was in high school. So that was way back in 2002. So I think I am kind of familiar with the ins and outs of not just the neighborhood, but also here at this campus, and I've watched it grow and blossom. But it's at the point as if we do not take this leap of faith in what I'm talking about right here and right now, you're gonna have a serious problem. Now, I'm here to help. I'm not here to sit there and say anything other than that, because I believe in education. I believe in unification. Well, that's all I got.
Thank you. Dr. Bowen?
President Buffalo, trustees, Happy New Year again. A free institution does not collapse when a rule is broken. It collapses when those who see the breach decide it is safer to be silent. We are often taught, especially in bureaucracies, that silence is neutrality, that by keeping one's head down, one remains uninvolved. History teaches the opposite. Silence is not neutral. Silence is permission. It is the space in which error hardens into policy and injustice learns to walk. The greatest safeguard any institution possesses is not a regulation or a lawyer. It is a culture in which people are unafraid to speak, to say, this is wrong, this seems wrong, or this does not look lawful, or simply, I disagree. The moment people begin to whisper those things instead of saying them aloud, the institution begins to lose its sight. Free speech is not a luxury. It is a diagnostic tool. It is how a system finds its own failures before they metastasize. It is how we prevent small errors from becoming large ones. And it is how people of conscience continue to belong to the organizations they serve. When people are told to exercise their speech with care, lest there be consequences, we should hear that for what it is. It is a warning, and warnings of that sort do not preserve harmony, they produce fear. Fear does not create stability, it creates obedience, and obedience is not the same as integrity. Even our own district policies recognize this truth. They explicitly protect employees who, in good faith, speak up about suspected wrongdoing, who assist in investigations, or who refuse to carry out what they believe to be unlawful. They forbid the use of official power to chill that speech or to punish those who engage in it. Those protections exist because no institution can govern itself honestly if its people are afraid to talk. But those policies are not a ceiling, they are a floor. Long before a disclosure becomes a complaint, it begins as something much simpler, a person exercising their right to say what they think. That is the first and most important act of accountability. A college is not a chain of command, it is a community of reason. Its legitimacy flows not from hierarchy, but from trust, and trust cannot survive where fear has been allowed to take root. So let us be clear about what we owe one another. We have a constitutional right to speak, we have a contractual right to speak, but more than that, we have a civic duty to speak when we believe something is wrong, because silence transfers the cost of error onto students, onto colleagues, and onto the public. Courageous speech is not disloyalty. It is the mechanism by which free institutions repair themselves, and it is not reserved for the powerful. It belongs equally to employees, to students, and to the public we serve. Our process is only as honest as the voices that enter it, and no one has to fear adding their own voice. If I have accomplished anything in my time as faculty union president, I hope that it is this: that I did not remain silent when I believed this administration was abusing its authority or acting unlawfully, that I used my voice openly, without apology, without fear, and I hope that other individuals will do the same. 5 more seconds. In defense of this institution, families, students, the community, and one another. Thank you.
Thank you. Pamela Ford.
Good evening, everyone. I want to stress again how upset I am about learning about the hub and the mold issue just today when I could have been told before Thanksgiving, and I'm concerned about people's health. There are a lot of good and many accomplishments that occur here at Antelope Valley College. Evidence of that are the numbers of students we graduate each year and the work that goes into that. I heard the word inept used at the last board meeting, and I do not believe that is accurate in reference to our administrators because the term inept means someone who is clumsy, unskilled, or completely lacking in ability or competence for a particular task or situation. A person like that would not have the skill set to hide things or avoid transparency or ignore issues by not returning phone calls, not answering or avoiding emails, or meet with me face to face and not inform me that my members have been exposed to serious health violations. Someone inept could not be that devious. Further, I don't believe the administration can be held accountable because we are on repeat when it comes to health code violations, lack of transparency, losing PERB charges, and having to pay out hefty sums as a result. It appears the problems remain the same. The lawsuits lost cover the same ground repeatedly. How can you repeatedly lose PERB charges for the same actions and yet repeat them again and again, and then get angry because you lost? You read the decisions, or at least you have access to them, and yet you continue to ignore outcomes. No one enjoys appearing before this board and airing issues, especially when they don't feel heard. This happens because matters are not being addressed or responded to. But I don't hold the administration responsible. I hold the board responsible because you provide the goals and direction to the incoming administration, and you are the final decision makers. That's not an ineptness on the part of the administration. That's too easy. That is the board's choice. If you want something different, then give guidance to your administration that sparks working to resolve issues in-house and follow the policies and agreements that you yourself sign off on. Enforce and encourage transparency. Are you aware that the best way to increase a problem is to ignore it? Well, it's enough. We work for you. Our students attend here. We should have safe, clean working conditions, not secrets about what we are exposed to be held quiet by upper administration.
Thank you, Pam. Okay. So item 11.0 is clarification. And do we have a clarification?
We do have clarification. Both prior to closed session and in this commentary, there were statements made with regard to the hub. The hub was closed and relocation happened on November 20th, and that was due to water intrusion. At that point in time, there was no mold and there was no issue that we were aware of. I invite the Federation to conversation, and I'll answer any questions that you have. There was no deception. There was no deception.
Okay, item 12, mid-year strategic priorities update presentation. Welcome back.
Good evening, President Buffalo, trustees, student trustee, President Zealot, council, Michelle. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to present to you an update. This is a mid-year or midpoint overview of the campus's progress toward your strategic priorities, the strategic priorities that the board set for us as an institution last spring. This will tell you, gives you data on our progress through the summer and the fall semesters. So we'll go ahead and work through them. This first data slide addresses Goal 1A, and the goal you set for us was to increase full-time equivalent students by 10% annually. We have had a steady increase in FTES for the past 3 years. Summer 25 and Intersession 26 have both exceeded our 2019 to 2020 pre-COVID FTES numbers, which is really exciting. Our 2025-26 is also trending up at a similar rate overall. A few highlights: there was a minor decrease in summer of 1.1%. So how to read the bar graphs: yellow at the bottom represents the summer of that academic year, blue represents then the fall semester, gray is intersession if there were an intersession, and then green represents the spring semester. And so we had a minor decrease in summer this year, summer 2025, of 1.1%. Fall, we had an increase of 7.2% year over year, which is really exciting. To date, our intersession for 2026 is exceeding intersession of last year by nearly 50%. So it's really, really exciting growth of the intersession enrollment. That's up 205 FTES from last year. And with still 4 weeks to go from the start of the spring 2026 semester, we're fewer than 800 FTES away from last year's total enrollment, and fewer than 1,200 FTES from hitting our 10% target. So we still have a month of enrollment to go before start of spring term, and then of course we'll have late start classes as well. Then we have our positive attendance classes, et cetera, that add on later to that. So we are well on pace to hit the 10% target that you set for us for FTES. If we move to the next slide, sorry, here, that's mine. Goal 1B is to increase enrollment. So this is the number of seats being filled by students. So this is a duplicated number. Again, the goal was 10% increase year over year. And so what we see here, similar to our FTS growth in the previous slide, we have also had steady increase in enrollment. Again, we're exceeding COVID-19-20 enrollment numbers here, so that's very exciting. We're also trending up this particular year. We had a minor decrease in the summer in enrollment, but just barely a 0.5%, meaning 58 seats difference. And then in our fall semester, we increased by 8.3% in enrollments from the previous year. In intersession, again, we are exceeding last year's enrollment by 44%, so really exciting growth there. And again, we are close to, or pacing to not only meet last year's numbers, but to reach that 10% target that you set for us as well. So very exciting as well. The next slide takes us to goal number 2. That's the increase in, you encouraged us, challenged us to increase the rate of students completing both transfer level math and transfer level English within their first year of study by 5%. So I want to call out a couple of things here. The table to the left tells us percentages. And so those percentages within that class of students, that cohort of students that are in their first year of study with us, you see a pretty marked growth in 1920. That's because the AB 705 legislation went into effect, saying that so the guidelines for having students go through a selection process to get into transfer level math and English changed. And then again in 2021, 22, we also had legislation AB 1705, which eliminated putting students into below transfer level classes. And so you've seen this incredible rate of growth. On the right-hand table, what you're seeing then are the raw numbers. The blue bar tells you how many students were in that year's class of first-year students with us. They were considered first-year students. And then the red bar to the left of it tells us and how many of those students from the blue group were able to complete both transfer level math and English in that first year of study. So what you see there is that steady growth of students hitting that metric year over year. We've had more than 300% increase of number of students making that metric or hitting that mark year over year. And this year we're pacing similarly with incredible growth. Goal 3. The challenge was to increase the number of CTE awards earned by 5%. The table on the left-hand side shares with you the various types of awards that are earned within our CTE umbrella. So you can see the breakdown there. And then on the right-hand side, you can see then those grouped together and how that compares year over year. We also, I think it's important to note that 2025-26 is still underway, of course, and even those numbers there don't tell the whole story. We have 700 awards still pending in the queue already for 25-26 that are not yet there, and then we'll have whatever awards come through the spring as well. So lots of great opportunity there to hit that goal that you have set for us. Goal 3B was to increase job placement rates in programs with less than 70% to 70% or higher. Now, those are 3 programs we're focusing on: fire tech, anthropology, and commercial music. But we won't have updated employment data from the state office until the end of the year. So really a metric that we're looking at is how many students, as a leading indicator, how many students are participating in our work experience courses, and we're continuing to see an upward tick in that participation. We also have seen many opportunities for non-credit entrance points, so students can begin to get an early start on the runway toward their CTE certificate or degree. All of that is good indication that we're building toward greater job placement in areas of study. The next section, goal number 4, is a really exciting section. You challenged us as a community to increase our outreach, our participation, and our involvement in the community. So I just wanted to highlight a few of our large-scale activities. In the fall, we hosted AV Edge and the Fall Forum. In that, our own president, Dr. Jennifer Zellett, and Dean Van Ryder were featured panelists in the education panel. In September, we hosted Patriot Day, a beautiful ceremony out on the administrative building quad. It was a lovely event with many participants from our community and legislators. In October, on the 17th of October, we were there in force at AV Alta Football Club's College Night, hosted by Antelope Valley College. It was a sold-out game, an amazing opportunity, and a really great way to engage with our community. We gave out bags and showcased our various academic programs. It was a smashing success and a really great end to an entire year of marketing that we had done in partnership with AV Alta. In September, same day, but earlier in the day, we also hosted the Antelope Valley Reentry Symposium. And this was work Professor Greg Lingner and many others, our Rising Scholars Committee, et cetera, worked really diligently with our local community who assist formerly incarcerated individuals and their family members. We hosted a lovely day-long event here at the campus with many guest speakers and panelists, et cetera, to showcase the different types of resources that exist here at AVC and across our community to help individuals move into education and to greater opportunity. On October the 27th, we hosted the California Jobs First convening. We had legislators and panelists. It was an incredible day here, highlighting the great work, but really positioning AVC as a strong community partner in the work. We had other events, $10,000 of turkeys given away to our community, really exciting, radio spots, food trucks out on the parking lot for school night bites to engage the community and our students who are here for those evening sessions, and an incredible football season that ended up in a championship win. So just incredible work there as well. As we moved into November, on the 14th, we hosted Antelope Valley's AI Task Force, where we were not only the hosts, but also presenters and participants. So really linking arms with our community to learn about how we can embrace AR and serve in leadership capacity, leveraging those tools to our greatest advantage. And then on the 1st of November, we also had an opportunity in collaboration with the Palm del Mariachi Festival to host campus tours for 200 community members who were here for a festival. Dr. Idania Padron, Vice President of Student Services, put an all call and said, hey, we have folks here. They'd like to see the campus. Can we get a team together? So you see the team there that came together to offer tours. They came after hours, and we're here to just provide this really welcoming event to community members who may not otherwise be on our campus. So we leveraged that opportunity to great success, and thank you, Dr. Padron. We also have become stewards of 2 of the pieces of the AV Mobile Vietnam Memorial Wall. And so really, really exciting for us to be able to participate in that final salute ceremony and then the decommissioning and bringing here of those panels. We bear that responsibility with great honor. And any questions about the data? Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Absolutely.
Farley. I have a question, just it's more or less a compliment to you and all of our math and English instructors here on campus, because I do find that number in the red for goal number 2. I know that the high schools, have a tendency to blame the middle schools and right on down the line. So I think it would be really great, not taking anything away from our wonderful people here on campus, but to also inform our local high schools that we have been seeing over the past, I would say 4 years, a gradual increase in the number of incoming freshmen's scores in math and English for receiving credit for a college accepted coursework. And so I think this would be something that we might just want to consider sharing with them to encourage them to continue doing. I know there's a lot of focus out there on rigor, and so this might have a little bit to do with these numbers as well at our local high schools. And I don't know if you're the person to answer this question, and if not, I'll find that person later, no worry. What are the requirements? Because I had someone come and ask me, what are the requirements for a student to get in our Bachelor's of Respiratory Therapy? Do they have to have an AA?
They do have to earn our associate degree. That's one of the criteria points for the baccalaureate degrees, is to earn the associate degree that filters into it to make sure that they're prepared.
But that is not a common practice at a Cal State.
Correct. That is correct, but that is one of the stipulations that is in place for California community colleges.
In respiratory care in particular, they can practice as a respiratory therapist with an associate degree in the licensure. And so kind of like with nursing, you can have the associate level degree and licensure, then go on to get the baccalaureate. So, and like with nursing, respiratory therapy is moving toward baccalaureate prepared workers.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr.
Mr.
President, I participated, Dr. Farley, in the California Jobs Fair or whatever it was, and I went over to Lockheed, and we had a presentation over there, and someone told me, and I know someone too, that graduated from the mainframe technology program with a bachelor's degree, and they were not able to get a job because they're not hiring over there. Are you aware of that?
We are aware that there are some hiring freezes due to various political and economic circumstances. We are, however, very fortunate that we are in Aerospace Valley, and so even if there are one or two employers that maybe are having a freeze, our students do have access to many others that they could apply to, and then these freezes ebb and flow regularly with various economic and political changes, and so we anticipate that, as they have in the past, that those freezes will be lifted over time, and students will have an opportunity then to perhaps seek employment with their preferred employer.
Dr. Farley, it was my understanding that when you graduated this program here at this college and you got a bachelor's, you could just about automatically go over there and get a job. because the instructors worked over there in the plants. So, is that going to, and also, Lockheed, for example, has these programs all over the country. It's not just here. So we're in competition with their other campuses. They have community colleges teaching mainframe technology too. What can we do to ensure that our graduates get a job over there?
Thank you. Did you want to speak?
Sure. I appreciate the question. We really are doing our best to make students aware of the breadth of opportunity that they have. The hiring cycles at some of our industry partners, that are contract dependent, those cycles really are out of our control. What we can do, however, is, as Dr. Farley referenced, is work with our maybe some of the smaller industry partners and help our students get in there. Our students really are best positioned to enter into the industry because of the connection that we have with industry and because of the fact that they're learning from current employees. We have, of course, our faculty who are highly qualified, and those relationships are there. It really is what the question that you're asking about, what can we do to guarantee their employment? We're doing everything that we can. Right now, any slowdowns or halts that students might be experiencing are because of things that are happening with government contracts and certain economical influences that are out of our control. So if students find themselves in that position, then we do our best to refer them out to other potential employers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
And if I may, since I am here, I wanted to take the opportunity to share with you. I know that equity and student achievement has been mentioned to you from this podium in recent months, and I wanted to just give you a quick update. We are a new division. We are here. We've been here in existence for about a year and a half, and we are working diligently to normalize our equity initiatives across the campus and to standardize and build out processes. And so we are working to do things like create professional development across our area to make sure that processes are implemented the same, and making sure that student groups are supported equitably. So those groups that are largest are staffed at an appropriate level, and then as we work our way down, that there is equitable support based on the numbers of students involved in the various initiatives and the levels of support needed. So please do know that we are working diligently on those. Happy to share more with you about that in detail if you'd like. I also have a separate presentation I can send up through the president outlining how equity and student achievement has been working specifically toward the achievement of your board priorities, and we look forward to continue in service to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to mention it, we have numerous aerospace companies out here, including, I believe, 3 drone companies. Mojave has numerous companies, and they all hire our students. So there's a lot of them get hired other places. Thank you. Good report.
Thank you.
Okay, consent calendar, consent agenda. Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it's unanimous. Okay, action items, 14.1. Approval of memorandum of understanding between Antelope Valley Community College District and the Antelope Valley Federation of Classified Employees regarding classified employee retreating to the clerical assistant 3 position in purchasing and contracts. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. 14.2, approval of clinical affiliation agreement between Antelope Valley College and Kern County Hospital Authority that will begin upon approval and expire on November 30th, 2028. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Okay. 14.3, approval of amendment number 1 to the contract instruction agreement with Apex San Fernando Valley Chapter 110 Incorporated, dated June 5th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President. What does APICS stand for?
That's a great question. I searched for that acronym. Essentially, this organization works with us on logistics curriculum, helping students get into that industry. And so I can't tell you exactly what the acronym stands for, but it's bothered me too. Is Van here?
Thank
I'll
you.
find out and I'll let you know, because
Okay.
those, as an English major, I wanted to make something up, but essentially this is about logistics and adopting logistics curriculum for our students.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay, item 14.4, approval of agreement between Lyft and Antelope Valley College for Mentor March Pilot Program funded by EEQ and TBP grant. I scribbled on that. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Item 14.6, approval, 14.5, okay. That's what I did with moving my glasses. Okay, approval of appropriation increase for Lyft Mentor Match Fund. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 14.6, approval of additional funds for contract management solution implementation with Highland Software Incorporated. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay, item 14.7, approval of amendment number 1 to the current one-year consultant services agreement with Legacy InfoSec, LLC for district information technology goods and services. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 14.8, approval of contract with On Par Advisors LLC for fraud detection services. And do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President. A couple of these items have to do with security. I wonder if we're having any difficulty securing our computers or anything?
No more difficulty than any other community college system, particularly fraud detection, as the board is aware, has been an issue with fraudulent students and that kind of thing. And so we've had to really up our systems and the protection that we have to mitigate the fraudulent enrollments. And so that's what these contracts are about.
We don't specifically have an increase or anything?
We have not had an increase. We have actually done, I want to commend VP Brar and the ITS area for the services that they've implemented, and actually our enrollment services team as well, because we have a system whereby we have a few technological layers of detection, and then the humans over in enrollment services follow up with our students who then are still on a list to make sure that there's an actual person there. And so we've got a pretty rich fraud detection system, which has kept the college safe. So thank you to all of the employees who've been working on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 14.9, approval of service agreement with Rebus Incorporated, DBA Toyota Material Handling Solutions. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to item 14.10. Approval for field service agreement with Coast Development Company LLC, DBA Coast Construction Group for the green screen project for Uceda Hall building with Perkins funds. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to 1411, approval of resolution number 25-26/09, authorizing and approving the professional services agreement with SCH Architects for the Palmdale Technology Retrofit Project with redevelopment funds. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, items 14.12, 14.13, 14.14, 14.15, 14.16, and 14.17 are all done with Measure AV funds. Can we have a motion to approve those items?
So move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr.
You know, I brought this up before. Some of these motions we have here are to increase the amount of money for a contract, and I fail to see why people cannot keep the agreement that they made with us to do the job unless we ask for something different. And I wonder if that's what the case is in some of these funds. And also, we're already approving change orders for the Commons project, and that building won't be completed to fall, and we're already changing the orders for it. Can somebody explain what's going on here?
So the Commons, like all of the other buildings, you know, there are expenses that get paid out long before the building is actually opened. And so change orders that come from our vendors back to us are vetted quite thoroughly over in our facilities area. And so there are times, and actually the board's been privy to several instances where we have pushed back against some of the requests for change orders and actually, you know, settled for a much lower amount than they ask for. So change orders happen because of things that are out of people's controls. And sometimes it's weather, sometimes it's one subcontractor will do something that impacts another. We can't expect there to be zero changes. What our team does is they do their absolute best to ensure that the change orders that we bring to you are one that we agree are legitimate to be paid out.
Okay, also, some of the motions that have to do with AV funds have to do with completion.
Yes.
Now, does our team go through with a checklist and have documentation that it's all completed before we agree to it?
Absolutely. And Noe and Ron, how many times have you walked Cedar Hall? With a little blue tape and all of the things. But yes, they absolutely, they check, they double check, they triple check. And before we sign off, releasing any of our vendors from any liability of any kind, we make sure that the job is complete.
Now, the contractor signs that completion document also.
Everybody's,
correct?
it's a contract completion, yes,
Yeah,
everybody signs.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none. Advice?
Approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's approved unanimously. Now we're going to enter 15, which is reports and announcements. Academic Senate, Hal Huntsman.
Good evening, trustees, President Zealot, Ms. Shuttlecorp, Mr. Wang. Happy New Year. It's good to be back on campus and good to see you all. I want to start by saying that we as faculty, I think, really are very happy with the choice of Catherine Mitchell as our interim Vice President of Academic Affairs. There's broad support for her, and we are very excited to be working with her for this semester, and we hope for many years to come. And if we can do anything to help her, we certainly will. I also, as is my practice, want to highlight the work of a faculty member, and today I want to highlight someone from athletics. Her name is Bailey Green. She is in our second year as the coach of the women's volleyball team, and she is also an AVC athletics alumni. She took the 2025 women's volleyball team to a 15-8 record this past fall season, and the most successful season in over 12 years. That included 2 Western State Conference first team recognitions, 2 Western State Conference second team recognitions, 4 Western State Conference honorable mention recognition, and the team beat Bakersfield, notably, for the first time since 2014. Yes, very notable. Her recruiting efforts have been higher than they have been in over 10 years, carrying a consistent number of 18 athletes over the past 2 seasons. Out of her total 10 sophomores, between her first 2 seasons at AVC, she has a 90% transfer rate, which is fantastic. The 2024 team had 4 of the 5 sophomores transfer to universities to continue playing. Currently, all 5 sophomores from this past fall 2025 team have been in contact with offers to transfer and continue playing. Very, very successful. But even more exciting to me, as in my role as Academic Senate President, she has a team GPA of 3.27 this year, which is well above the GPA average for all AVC students, which is about 2.81. So congratulations to Bailey, and we're very glad to have her here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hal. Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers, Dr. Jason Bullen.
Happy New Year. Again, it's great to be back. President Buffalo, trustees, I would like to speak plainly but fairly. I believe what I have to say is fair. For years, when faculty brought grievances to you, the Board of Trustees, we did so because the collective bargaining agreement provides for it, and it's always best to resolve matters at the lowest level if possible. In that circumstance, the board is supposed to be the last safeguard when administration oversteps its authority. And that has been confirmed that the administration has in fact overstepped its authority over years. Too often the safeguard failed, however, and you allowed it to fail, the Board of Trustees. Time and again, when the facts were clear in the collective bargaining agreement, state laws and your own policies and procedures were not ambiguous, the board declined to act. Instead of correcting errors, you forced faculty to seek remedies elsewhere at the state level, at PERB, informal hearings, at great expense and great strain to this institution and taxpayers and me, us, faculty. And the result has now been unmistakable. The state has repeatedly vindicated us, not because we are confrontational, not because we're looking for a fight, but because the administration was wrong and the board did not intervene when it should have and could have. When the board declines to enforce the policies and procedures, and that's all we're ever really asking, it sends a message that accountability is optional, that rules exist on paper but not in practice. That message does not stop with faculty. It travels outward into every corner of this college. It reaches our students. Students learn from what we do far more than from what we say. When they see a teacher treated unfairly, silenced, or removed without due process, they do not just lose an employee. They lose a mentor, a guide, a connection that may have taken years to build. Those relationships are not replaceable. They are part of what makes education human. When the board fails to stop an unjust or unlawful action, the cost is not abstract. A class loses continuity, a program loses stability, a student loses trust, and beyond that, students absorb a deeper lesson that power goes unchecked and that fairness depends not on rules, but on who holds the authority. This is not a lesson a public college should teach. The board exists precisely to be the place where power is checked, where contracts are honored, and where people know there is a final layer of accountability. When that function is exercised, it protects faculty, but just as importantly, and most importantly, it protects students and it protects the integrity of this institution. I end asking this, that you remember who ultimately pays when you choose not to act. It is not the faculty union. It is not me. It is not the administration. It is the students, the employees, their families, and the community you were elected to serve. Thank you.
Pamela Ford.
Good evening again. I feel certain, just as a point of clarification, that you didn't find out today about the mold in the hub. So when you found out, I should have found out. I want to announce some good news. The Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees has 2 new executive officers, Maria Groth as secretary and Golden Hicks as second vice president. Suzanne Olson will continue to serve as a member of the Catastrophic Leave Committee and a negotiation team member. We are looking to fill the first vice president position in the coming months. Jason, though I don't agree with your decision, and I've made my position quite clear, as you know I would, at the end of the month, we say goodbye to you as faculty union president. Jason, you've provided strong leadership during your terms as president. You've taken the faculty union in a different direction and made them stronger. I understand you came under the tutelage of Aurora Bird, and she's a fighter and strong advocate, and I believe you exceeded her expectations. You challenged CFT's leadership and made them change the focus of slate voting. You have prevailed in numerous PERB charges involving the district, many of which could have been resolved in-house. You have been instrumental in helping build unity between faculty and classified, and you've gained a lot of knowledge, and they have gained a lot from you. I believe your departure for your group will be felt for some time, but this is a job that can quickly take its toll, and it's no small feat to take on this role. I wish you all the best, Jason, as you return to your quiet world of serving students in the classroom and grading papers as you've expressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Confidential Management Supervisor, Administrator, Employees, Ashley Hawkins.
Good evening, everyone. As we begin the new year, excuse me, the college continues to experience growth, as Dr. Farley presented to us earlier, and transitions that reflect both institutional progress and the evolving landscape that we currently live in. CMSA remains committed to supporting the college during this period and to contributing to strategic priorities that center continuity, stability, and student success. CMSA would like to acknowledge and express our greatest appreciation for the administration's commitment to providing opportunities for internal candidates, including current leaders to serve in different capacities. These opportunities allow experienced leaders to partner closely with the institution to make timely, informed adjustments that ensure minimal interruption to operations and the continued delivery of high-quality services to students. This approach affirms the value of institutional knowledge, strengthens operational responsiveness, and reinforces a sense of trust, investment, and shared responsibility across the organization. It is an honor to serve these students in this community at this school alongside all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Associated Student Organization, Destiny Waller.
Good evening, President Zealot, Board of Trustees, and guests. Growth often begins where comfort ends, and stepping into this role was exactly that for me. I didn't have everything figured out when I became ASO president, but I had the courage to step up and the heart to try. Serving as your ASO president gave me a front row seat to something special. Watching students show up, take initiative, and turn ideas into real moments, it brought something special. And turning ideas into real moments that brought our community together. Seeing that growth and confidence build over time is something I will always be proud of. I've always believed in finishing what I start, and serving ASO is a responsibility I've taken seriously. At the same time, leadership has taught me the value of timing, knowing when it's your moment to lead and when it's time to make space. Just as I once stepped up to serve as your president, I now step forward to focus on my academic endeavors, confident in the strength and direction of this organization. I can step away with peace of mind knowing the students are in capable hands. With that, I have decided to resign from my position as ASO president. It has truly been my pleasure to serve in this role. Watching members grow into leadership, advocating for others, and representing voices that often go unheard has been one of the most rewarding parts of this experience. I leave this role with gratitude, pride, and excitement for what's ahead. While it is bittersweet to step away from this role, I'm grateful for the experience and excited to pass the baton to VP of Academic Affairs, Armando de la Torre. I can't wait for you all to see the great work they will do. Thank you all for allowing me to be a part of this journey. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, you did a great job. Coming down to the next, I think it's Diane. I don't know which hat you're wearing, Diane.
I got two hats today.
Yes, I know.
One's foundation,
But
which
when
is...
you did that for the Skunk Works, everything was no comment. And
That's correct. You remember well. Yeah, so I am having the privilege, I guess I could say, thank you, Alejandro, of taking care of the marketing and public relations activities until we were able to hire someone else as well. And that leads me into the team. The team of marketing is great, phenomenal, and I'll just give a perfect example as to how they stepped up under a marketing request that we provided for our scholarship program. And for this year, we've got scholarships running starting now through the end of February. Because of their efforts, we have the highest already completed, like at 31 completed scholarships that we've ever seen at this time before. Yay! So I want to give a shout out to the team. They started day one, put it out there, and got it done. So they're really thinking. And so any success that I'm going to have is because of them. So great conversations there with the team. Foundation-wise, I do want to thank our solar power company. It used to be called AES. It is now called ACE. Don't ask me what it stands for. I don't think they have a name, so it's an acronym. Sorry, Michael. But they gave us $10,000 a couple of years ago to help fund for a car for our automotive program that was electric. Proud to say now we have it on site. It is fixed and registered to go. Thank you, Noe and others, for tear down and study of electrical vehicles, helping prepare some of our students to be able to work in the new technology. Last but not least, guess what time it is? January, we're planning for Wine Walk. Yes, so Wine Walk planning has started intense. Thank you to 2 board members who've received your tickets. I appreciate everything you've done in the past and will continue to do. So we have a goal of $40,000 this year to earn. We almost made it last year. We came up to like 38.9 or something, some very close number. So we've got to exceed at least and get to at least 40,000 this year. So hopefully we can do that. And those of you that have contributed to us for this past year, it is the tax time, so we'll be sending your tax letters out to make sure that you have all the data for your tax preparing. Any questions? Thank you.
okay, thank you. The Office of Superintendent President, Dr. Jennifer Zillett.
Destiny, before I begin my comments, I just want to thank you for all the work that you've done. I was just speaking with Chrissy earlier today and reflecting on where ASO was when I first started. I think ASO had 3 officers, and that was it. And you all are working with a full, I think your team is full. Right, and you're doing so many wonderful things for students, and it's really important because it's a challenge for community colleges because we're not residential campuses, right? So it's really tempting for people to just come, do their thing, and go, but building that community is so essential for student success, and I just love so many of the great ideas you've come up with while during your time. I'm really going to miss you. I've loved our monthly meetings, and you have my phone number, so just stay in touch. I wish you all the best. We'll have one more meeting before you go. Also, I would like to take a little point of privilege and introduce to the board Ms. Linda Beam is here with us tonight, and Linda will be stepping in to help people, culture, and talent when Vice President Elon Helsper steps away to have baby number 3. We know his name is going to start with an E, so I give him a different E name. We'll call him Enrique tonight. I just have to help her with her name choices. So, Ms. Beam has just a ton of experience in the system. She's been with 7 different community college districts. She met the executive team this morning, and she'll be with us full-time starting on the first Monday of February. So just wanted to make sure you have an opportunity to meet Ms. Beam. And with that, good evening, trustees and student trustee. Happy New Year to all, and welcome to a fresh beginning. New Years, like new semesters, provide us with opportunity. Opportunity is defined as, quote, a favorable juncture of circumstances or a good chance for advancement or progress, end quote. Both things are true, and we as a campus have choices. By embracing the circumstances that provide the chance for advancement or progress, we position the college best to meet the strategic priorities established by you as our board. Those metrics are based on the student-centered funding formula, so meeting those metrics necessarily means better serving our students. I strongly encourage all campus constituents to embrace opportunity, recommit to AVC serves, and put the microscope on how we can remove barriers for students. As we do so, positive changes will result based on each employee's insight and expertise, and we will become a stronger community based on our common goal of service. We know that the vast majority of our employees are here for this reason, to serve students. For those who have lost that focus or desire, for those to whom AVC might be a paycheck, let's talk. I believe it's never too late to rediscover your why. Welcome 2026 and all the opportunity that you bring. The new year brings news regarding the governor's proposed budget for 26-27, and trustees, you have before you a copy of the joint analysis for your review. For members of the public, there are a few copies available should you be interested in that, and Ms. Shuttlecorp can help you with that if we run out of copies. Following are some key changes in the proposal compared to the enacted budget for 25-26. Under this, pardon me. Under this proposal, the overall state budget would be higher than in 2025 and 26, increasing by about 8.7% to a total of $348.9 billion, reflecting higher state receipts driven by stock market gains. General fund spending would increase by nearly $20 billion, 8.7% to $248.3 billion. This is the budget for the entire state, not for the community college system. I wish I could say that it were. Secondly, the proposal for additional ongoing spending includes $240.6 million for a 2.41% cost of living adjustment for community college apportionments, and about $30.6 million for COLAs and adjustments to certain categorical programs. Unfortunately, our largest categorical program does not have COLA applied. Our student equity and achievement funds, those restricted funds, don't have it applied, but we always manage to figure that out. So there are other categorical programs too where right now the COLA is not carried over. It also includes $87.2 million to cover system-wide enrollment growth of 1.5% over 2 years. That's $55.3 million for growth of 1% starting in 25-26, and $31.9 million for 0.5% growth starting in 26-27. And as we look at our own institutional data, Vice President Brar and Vice President Farley will be able to put together where we fall in those increased funds for growth. Thirdly, one-time funding in the proposal includes $120.7 million to address deferred maintenance, $100 million for the student support block grant, $36 million to fully scale the Common Cloud Data Platform, and $35 million to scale and institutionalize the Credit for Prior Learning Initiative. Lastly, the governor's proposal includes capital outlay funds from Prop 2 to support 39 projects. I encourage you to take time to review this joint analysis, for we will engage with this information as a team at a later date. We are in week 2 of intercession, and it's good to have even a few students on campus. Most students are engaged in online learning during this time, given the condensed nature of the classes. We are here to support the students, faculty, and the classified professionals who are working diligently during this time, and we look forward to continued success. I want to thank in advance Vice President Padron and the Student Services team who are occupying that building for the enrollment rush that's coming up. We're hoping to capitalize on some of those kinds of efforts to fully achieve our strategic priorities. I want to thank everyone for all that you do, and I look forward to seizing opportunity this semester and working together to improve our service to students and our community. Thank you.
Okay. Board member comments, and we'll start down with our student trustee.
As someone who has had the pleasure of working with Destiny not only this year, but last year, I have seen her grow and blossom into somebody amazing. But one thing that's never changed about her is her passion for helping students. And I would like to thank you for you serving your role as president, and also for last year's cabinet as not only senator, but also vice president. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
Between now and April, there will be a number of people trying to sell you wine walk tickets. Let me just assure you that once again, the lucky tickets are in my envelope. Thank you.
Mr. Reeves?
First of all, I want to thank Ms. Waller for being student body president, and thank you for your service to the college. I want to thank Foundation President Diane for filling in as the marketing director for the college until we hire another one. I want to thank Dr. Bowen for his speeches and the pleasure of his company the last couple of years. I can assure you, being on the board for 5 years, we do take our job seriously, and we do consider things. I want to congratulate the new Vice President Mitchell in her new job. I've seen what she has done in the field of CTE, and I know you'll do a great job. We have Martin Luther King Day this month, and I want to wish everybody a happy Martin Luther King Day. Thank you.
Ms. Gaines?
Okay, Destiny, I want to thank you for your courage and serving your community and your school as you chose to do is never easy. And I'm sure looking back, you would say today that you learned so much and you built a lot of confidence in yourself that you didn't have when you decided to step up for ASO. And I just want to say thank you. And I hope you continue in your leadership roles because you've done an outstanding job. You're welcome. Diane, is there any reason that you have to give us on the same night? I would think that I would have a little edge since I sold more than he did last year. Just saying. I too have 10 lovely tickets here that if anybody wants to get some from me, that would be great. And I will just hand deliver them to you. I want to say to Dr. Bowen, thank you too for your service. We've heard a lot of what you've had to say this past year or two, and I just want you to know that we certainly understand. And thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bowen. See, my count's done. Just saying. Thank you, Dr. Bowen, really, I'm serious about that. And Yeah, I think I just want to wish everybody, it's hard to believe we're still saying Happy New Year, but Happy New Year. We're only a couple weeks into it, and I'm very excited about all the great things that are going on at Antelope Valley Community College, and yeah, let's just keep up the good work, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Well, Jason, you speak very well. I will give you credit for that. You address things very well. And I wish you good luck in a relaxed program of going to movies and teaching classes. So, and Catherine Mitchell, I mean, my goodness. Every time I talk to her on campus, it's great. I like seeing her because she's fun. And she just laughs and smiles and tells you all kinds of good things. I really like people that do that. So I'm going to bring this up again. And this is my sign issue. Okay, if you remember the sign out front, it took me 5 years, 10 years, whatever, to get that sign out front. And I was relentless, and I am relentless. I'm going to bring it up again. We need a college musical here. Our students need the opportunity to participate in it. We did great musicals in the past. There is no reason we can't do this. And it would be a real asset in the community and to our students if we do that. So you'll probably hear this next month, and next month, next month. And so talking to students lately, I was a little bit surprised. I talked to a nursing student who did not know about our nursing program. And they were in Palmdale. I thought, like, how can you not know this? And they didn't. And I was just startled. So, but it goes, there's a lot of people who, I don't want to say this and be mean about it, but they live in caves. I know about them. And because years ago, when we used to do our festival, everybody knew about it, except for somebody who said, I've lived here for 25 years. When did you start this? 20 years ago? So I know that. And so we have to always, as an entire college, reach out and interact with people and make them aware of our programs. So I did make her aware of our program. Then she told me she was trying to go to Japan to do an international nursing program. So, okay. That's all we have for tonight. And our next meeting is February 9th, 2026, right? Okay. Here we go.